Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have messages for you today and oracle cards, and today is August 7th, 2018. I'm going to get right into it. Before I started just now, it was actually 11:51. I asked Jesus if he had any messages for you guys today, and I saw a heart and lots of love, kind of images of the goat that he was telling us about yesterday, about, don't stop, be persistent, don't give up. But mainly what I was seeing is then the archer with the love, and that the arrow is being pointed right at you. So that was a really beautiful message. Actually, energies are feeling a little bit lighter today. And I can tell too with the waves when I'm doing my cards how much guidance is coming in for us because of the higher arcana cards, like how many are in general coming through in the reads. And it's building up again now, but it's been light the past couple days, just for a couple days where like there was no divine guidance for the divine masculine and feminine. The kind of it's not exactly the same time, it's a little offset between the two, but I'm getting a lot of the same cards coming up for the divine masculines and feminines. And like I said before, when I do my numerology cards, I'm often now getting exactly the same cards for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So there's definitely some merging going on. Some of the messages just in follow-up from yesterday. I wanted to bring up yesterday, and this comes up later on in my read today, but about the guy who came to cut my lawn yesterday, and I just want to mention that because that's going to come up again, but they actually were here yesterday. And I'm sorry, not yesterday, but on the 5th. Having to do with the masculine energy. I was getting that tests were coming up for the divine masculine as far as handling money and energy, like how well they're doing, in what they've learned. And that aid was there for them if they asked for it. Also is coming up aid, and I get this code a lot, ADE, so for aid, but it's also Addie for anyone who may be named Addie out there. Was coming up as kids stuff was coming up too. That's why I wanted to bring up that, like kids crying to stall, to manipulate through crying. Some kids may be dealing with some bad spirits, or the divine masculine may be being tested by their kids like bad spirits, to see how much they're going to take from their kids, how much they'll allow them to manipulate them. Okay. Also, a random download that came up was SS Alaska. So if that means anyone to any of you out there, let me know. I was getting, and 3 tests kept coming up. Or therapy, and again it's about energy and money, but it was also about using emotions to manipulate, like stalling and crying, things like that. And just looking up the SS Alaska, and I was getting SOS first. I got SOS Alaska. So if that means something to someone, let me know. But then I was looking up SS Alaska, and there were several of them from like 1867 through the current, or through the 1900s. But there was one in specific that had some information about it that I honed in on, and that was from 1889. From 1889, there was an American passenger ship. There were steamships also. Some of them were for mail, but the one in 1889 happened to be an American passenger ship that sunk in 1921. And the the ship document, you know, of all of the passengers coming into the United States at the time was what was being shown, and it was signed on 11/11/1881 in New York from England and Ireland, and it was signed by the master of the ship was James Price, and then the number, and it was an immigrant ship, it was called an immigrant ship. The number associated with this was 188-11111, so 5 ones after that. So the date was 11/11/1881, and then 188-11111. So like you can't get any more ones and eights. That's like so 8/11, all right? So it's really important, this this final eclipse coming up, as well as 8/8, because 8/8 was coming up too. So we have Lionsgate tomorrow, and then the eclipse on the 11th. So it's just accentuating this energy coming in, the downloads. And I keep seeing one of my Syrian cards is they're orbs, you know, the swords are orbs instead of swords. And the starseed card is just one huge download orb, like a big ball of ice coming in. And I was getting like a big download coming a lot this week. But also I was getting hail. So if someone has a weird hailstorm that comes in, let me know, because that actually happened to my son and I when I was taking him up to, he went to Penn State. And when we were driving up there, there's this big mountain range before you get to campus. And right as we were going through there, all of a sudden this hailstorm just came in. It was like, you know, out of nowhere. And it was so strange and cool at the same time. But if anything like that comes up, let me know, because I was definitely getting hail when that message came through. And I also noticed in this registry, this ship registry, I just looked at the list real quick, and I noticed, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to recognize any of the last names on the ship list, which I really didn't, except for this one. And it was number 8. It was Miss M.A. Shank, and I know a Shank. And it was number 28, so that was funny. It was number 8, and then it was 28, which is the twin flames of the Two of Wands. And then it was listed as F. Spinster. So I don't know if that's was just how they described your single status. But I think 28 was the age. But it was F. Spinster, so it was just so perfect for you know, representative of the Divine Feminine and the twins and the numbers, the 8 and the 28. So that was pretty cool. So some important messages I was getting yesterday, which I couldn't really piece together, and I was hoping somebody else there might have something to add. I was getting a confessional for the Divine Masculine too, whether it's just confessing to someone or actually going to a church they haven't been to in a long time. I was getting to like that they hadn't stepped their foot in a church in, you know, a long, long time. So it's definitely coming up about the confession. Let's see here. And lack of sex was coming up as well. And I was seeing like the Divine Masculine seeing the Divine Feminine or the Karmic as having lots of tools of implementation and like swords, scissors, magnets, coins, shoes, and hats, and reading up on how to use them. So that was kind of funny. All right, so I got a rumor has it. It was very interesting because I was getting a message about something about my dad and one of his inventions. So I'll let you know about anything that might come up with that. But also, yeah, and begging for forgiveness came up. So that comes up, you know, that comes or aligns with the confession. And then adventure was coming up for the Divine Masculine. Actually a couple times. So I was also getting that the truth is out, And I was getting some kind of, and this had to do with the SS Alaska, because it went back to the SS Alaska because it was described as a steamship. And then I was seeing literally a steam engine, and I don't know exactly what I was getting. I was getting lots of bits and pieces, but if maybe somebody can put it together for me. And I was just thinking of too that this ship that sank in 1921, and I can't think of it what the name of the ship is that sank. So I don't know if that is the one, but please forgive me. I don't know all the details of that. So I was getting steam engine, pistons, turbo, injector or injection, and then I was getting turbines as well. I was getting sapphires and Excalibur. I was also getting like it's time. Put your swords down, right? Like time's up. You know, like when you're playing a game, all of a sudden you have to, you know, like when you're, you know, even playing blackjack, right? And you can't touch the table anymore. It was like that. Swords down, time's up. And I was getting like the Kaplunk game too, you know, where you put the disc into the thing and it goes like this, like a maze down. Like a domino effect, in the past returning. So again, steam engine, pistons, turbo or turbo injector or injection, sapphires having to do with this, and turbines, and Excalibur. I was getting like some kind of breakthrough in a water filtering system, maybe using sapphires or turbines. You know, a really organic way of filtering water with turbines and turbo piston engine, something like that. I don't know anything about car engines, so. But I was also getting like oil rigs, so I don't know if it has to do with the cars or literally about Texas oil fields. So I was getting water spouting the same way that oil rigs do, but using maybe turbines, but there's some kind of technical stuff. Anyway, because I was getting springs, something about pumping springs, that water's clear as Christ's gold light, a breakthrough. Okay, so if anyone picks up on anything, or maybe I'm picking up on someone's invention, so I don't know. That's the idea or the information I was getting. Also getting that it's possible that somebody went to prison for stealing someone else's idea. Or maybe that happened to a divine masculine as a child. Or this information going out from children or as a child. And then I got children of the corn, which was kind of eerie. And I was getting, again, like went to prison for divulging secrets. Just going, the divine masculine definitely going through a lot, stressed, crying even, but definitely messaging to their divine feminine, waiting for messages possibly from their divine feminine. Someone's making a big move, the feminine energy, either the karmic or the divine feminine, but without a leg to stand on in the aftermath of fighting. And it came up as conflict in religion. Dwelling in the past, but now exposed to happiness and what it means to be happy and the sunshine and a past life relationship. Okay. Death has been coming up a lot lately too, whether it's just rebirth, you know, death, transformation, transition, or an actual death. It's been coming up a lot, and having to do with heartbreak and ending pain. And possibly a disappearance of a lover, maybe. So whether it's death or just like imagine someone just magically disappeared, something like that. Just drained. Proposals of love coming up. Some sadness, just feeling drained, or maybe separated from their children if someone divorced or separated in that respect. But I was definitely getting literal physical separations. Also being kicked while they're down. It's like continuing to give love to a dead situation. You know what I mean? And having someone else, that King of Wands energy was coming up again as like kicking the Divine Masculine when they're down. Maybe he's kicking himself when he's down. Or maybe giving love to dead people. I was getting, you know, people they've lost. Like someone may be hung up on someone they lost a long time ago. As you know, it's ruined their life basically because they don't allow themselves to be happy. It's kind of like angels and demons. And now that a spark comes in him again that he hasn't felt in forever, it scares him. That romance and passion, feeling intimidated, feeling lust, feeling exposed, or feeling intimidated by exposure or power or even happiness. So this is news about an ungrounded earth sign energy breakup. When the King of Swords energy, so King of Swords is very in their truth, right? But not necessarily very feeling person. It's like the Divine Masculine finally gets a connection with God or their higher self about their past. And it has to do with exposure of their Divine Feminine feelings as well. It's like all of a sudden the Divine Masculine, them or masculine in their arena is exposed for having poor judgment, about their independence, and having like ignored, you know, a gift from God basically. I was getting Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Aquarius energies specifically. But also that those energies have been polluting the water or clearing the polluted waters. So in other words, emotions. So these are just randomly they were the signs coming up related to this, about polluted emotional waters, like either contributing to this pollution or helping to clear these polluted waters. And his destiny is coming out at the eclipse. There's definitely some instability, some are moving homes. Religious factors has been coming up a lot, and just having those heart-to-heart conversations, whether it's karmics or divine feminines, but it's happening. Still confused about maybe angels and patience as he tries to figure out his own abilities, his own psychic abilities. There may be someone whispering in his ear lies about the divine feminine. And he needs to clear blocks of like the phoenix rising above everything. It's like there's this Empress reversed, this very negative, bossy energy is being eclipsed out. Or someone can be very needy for attention as well. It's like a ploy for abundance. But when the Divine Masculine eclipses this energy out, he receives abundance. This huge download comes in at the eclipse. Exposure of truth, learning about unhappy family. There may be, and I was getting this before too, a death and relating to an Aquarius, if not an Aquarius, or maybe that energy, or death of a dream. and having given to an arrogant person. And then maybe shocked to hear certain things. Maybe some shady business going on the side that gave the Divine Masculine satisfaction but left him in a mental prison, you know, because they're always worried about it. I was getting water from the mountains, melted snow, and this could go back to the water facility I was talking about. And then I was getting huge hail balls coming in like sapphires and moving forward with justice or divorce and getting the ball rolling. Freedom, independence was coming up, news of new love, the females exposing other females, and even children may be involved with messages of separation, or maybe some kids are letting things out of the bag before they're supposed to be let out of the bag. But just also messages of maybe the Divine Masculines, of their own heartbreak, and proposals of wishes to tango. But again, I was getting that huge ball coming in, and it was like a test to take a leap of faith. And it was interesting, right after I had gotten this information yesterday, I just went to check my email, and there was I got an email from my state representative talking about drinking water concerns because one of the wells closed in our township. So that was very interesting. And it was by Springfield. So springs come up again. Okay, the field of springs. Double threes and double sevens were coming up for the Divine Masculine. And the King of Pentacles. Yeah. And last night I watched the Meyerowitz stories, which is, I mean, talk about family dysfunction. It was all about childhood wounding because they all had different parents. And it was the relationship not only with them and their parents, they're separate parents, because it was one father and 3 different mothers, and how the kids were all so messed up because of the different kinds of attention they got from the father and their mothers. So it was really interesting as far as wounding, the Meyerowitz stories. Okay, so today is, like I said, August 7th, 2018. It's the 7 of the Chariot, and the day adds up to 26/8, which is the Page of Wands. So it's about excitement. It's like being a teenage boy, you know, really excited and inspired. The 9/9 has been coming up today as well. So the Page of Wands and the Chariot energy, which can be very warlike. You know, a teenager on the warpath, that's kind of scary because they can be kind of out of control. Temper tantrums. So we'll see what that brings up, right? With communications going out today. The number 99 came up, and 99. So again, September 9th is another important portal. 88 and 99. A lot of stuff about money and energy coming up, and parenting. I was getting, and also the number 50 was coming up. Hawaii 50, so Hawaii was coming up as well. The number 5 came up, and number 25 with the 909 and the 99. And 5 is all about change, and 25 is what we had yesterday. It was the Knight of Wands, so maybe that energy is still lingering around with the Page of Wands. There might be siblings or friends, you know, hanging out, getting themselves into trouble possibly. But that's very physical, you know, passionate energy. Can be frustrated energy as well, or inspired. But either way, I was getting that is showing you that you guys, the Divine Feminines, are getting good at seeing the keys in things. So like where change is, you're good at seeing the keys of cry stalls. So I was getting that a lot, like crystals breaks up into cry stalls. You know, being manipulated by kids, and it could be a partner, you know, the husband or the wife, or just a female or masculine partner, doesn't matter who, but whoever the crier is, you know, using it to stall and using it to manipulate. But that the Divine Feminine is becoming very good at the expansion energy and change, and knowing when people are trying to manipulate, especially parenting was coming up with this, okay? And Jesus was coming into this as well. It's like Jesus parenting. What would Jesus do? I guess that's what he wants me to tell you. The age 50 was coming up too, like the 50s. So once you get good at earning money in your 50s and parenting alone, so it's specific to single parents. You know, once you're in your 50s, you're really good at earning money and your parenting skills. You know, kids can't manipulate you anymore. It's such an amazing time because you're free in that sense. Also, Hawaii 5-0 is coming up again, like I said. In relation to adapting by learning, researching, offering, and receiving. And again, Jesus as parent came up, and it doesn't have to be just the masculine, but I was getting the feminine as well. But I was being shown a single parent. Also could be 5 who've been being tested, see finally the key of manipulation from children or partners who whine a lot, right? See the key of the cry stall for sane parenting. And also is getting north, not for someone that might be specific for someone. And I was getting it's north, not northeast. And then it was maybe a pinch to the east, but it was someone was specifying it's north, not northeast. So I was also getting for the Divine Feminine, recently working on a lot of shadow work, and the World Wide Web coming up as the shadow, right? The spider web. And sage came up as well, to make sure you use sage, but I was also being guided to be careful of sage burning things. Like watch, if you use sage, just be careful about ashes getting on the floor. That was a specific message. So hopefully that alerts someone to pay more attention to their sage burning. Okay, so there's really great underlying energy coming through. I was being seen like 2 sovereign people, 2 independent people. That the independence keeps the fires alive of the twins, but out of the drama. So staying out of the drama, or being in wisdom. The owl was coming up. Maybe the Divine Feminine losing some hope at work, about connecting around the world, like maybe they're not connecting as much as they thought they would, or just some disappointment. As your psychic abilities are awakening and you are becoming more powerful, the Divine Masculine may be seeing you in a different way, like taking another look at the truth of the situation. I was also getting maybe some Divine Masculines might have a right hand injury. And then I went to write down and crown blown, right? Because their crowns are opening. But I wrote down grown instead of crown. And then it comes up again, growing. But so right hand injury, and then instead of crown blown, I wrote down grown blown. And that could definitely take in another direction. So that's the message. Also, I don't know why, but circumcision was coming up again today, and the King of Wands, or the Divine Masculine, wanting to get to the point of the truth. So how the Divine Masculine wand aligns with the Divine Feminine's sword. All right, so her truth and his passion. I was getting something growing from the Divine Masculine's crown, or the Divine Feminine, or that there's leaks in the crown, or blocks, could be as well. But also I was getting, because circumcision came up, surgical infection. So be aware of that. And I was also talking about yeast infections yesterday, so it may very well be. And what I spoke about in yeast infections is not using detergents with heavy fragrance, because it can cause yeast infections. So maybe that relates somehow to this surgical infection, okay, for circumcision. Like, because your underwear are washed in a detergent that's very harsh or has flowery scent. I was getting, it was kind of funny, because it looked like in a way that the Divine Feminine was like pooping on the Divine Masculine's head, but it was really showing spraying roots onto the Divine Masculine's crown in order to magnetize them. And then I got hypnotized. So it's like this natural circuit that happens. So as you ground as the Divine Feminine grounds themselves, they're magnetizing the Divine Masculine. So as she grounds more, his crown opens more. Okay, that's the message. Wanting to know more and focusing on energy and light and money, the Divine Feminine is looking into how to increase their financial independence using the truth. The cards that came up were calling in your soulmate. Like, yes, you've known this person before. So in the Divine Feminine, bringing new things up, there may be something that piques the Divine Masculine's curiosity. Maybe their curiosity about you and your issues. Then I got immediately passion fruit, and it wasn't until a little bit after that that I got from that forbidden fruit. Okay, so it's like, you know, the enticement of the forbidden fruit in the Divine Feminine to the Divine Masculine, and also karmic completion was coming up. So like I said, there's definitely completions coming through here. It was very strong that there was two sovereign beings here in the twin relationship. So of course this isn't going to be for everyone, but you know who you are. Stubbornness of the twin is out. So there may be, and this was coming up for the Divine Masculine, that his stubbornness is coming out. Exposure about his arrogance. And the truth about his trophy shelf, and also guarding his property. So I was getting, you know, literally it was showing guarding the home, but it's just in general maybe, you know, being very defensive and holding on to his stuff so nobody can get it. And even not working in order to protect their home. I was getting leapfrog into and out of like a funnel or a support, like it looked like a candle holder of light. And I was getting that it's like the Divine Masculine kind of like dipping into the light community, the support of the twin community, but kind of dipping in and then jumping out again, leapfrog, and coming in a little bit at a time like that, leapfrog. So recently the web of lies is closing in on a detached King of Cups energy. So he could either be very detached or over emotional, hanging out, recovering from a very cold and isolating place, so having been in the dark. Two sovereigns and the truth, standing their ground, one with inspiration and one with money to work with. I was also getting dumping a load. I'm not talking about going to the bathroom again, but it could be. But that was the energy coming up. So it could be dumping their burdens, or literally, you know, they could have, maybe someone's building a house and they dump a load that's coming in for the house, you know, whether it's bricks or whatever it is, but you get my meaning. But it could be going to the bathroom too. Maybe someone's been constipated and they finally get relief. Looks like yeah, it's like this. These are ideas that are coming into his head. So when he's able to clear, so So this is going to be clear his home of things, dumping a load, or clearing his body. He's making room for these new ideas to come in. And then I was getting recycling. So the divine feminine and masculine are that circuit of recycling. Okay, as she grounds and becomes more stable, it feeds into his crown opening and him becoming more psychic, and then his ideas will then rotate back to the divine feminine. So it's this circuit. That's how the third energy is working right now. Then I was getting using the divine masculine's verbal skills to get to the point. And it's not to say the divine feminines don't all have verbal skills, but this is something specific that I'm getting. So if it resonates with you, if it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I was getting the divine masculine verbal skills to get to the point, and I was getting slaloming, right? So going back and forth between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So when you're having a conversation, it's like the divine feminine will talk, and then the divine masculine will get to the point. And the divine feminine will talk, and the masculine will get to the point. So, not really sadness, but that I was getting before, but I was also getting not sadness, but like someone with their back turned, hiding that they're on their phone, looking something up or reading something that they don't want other people to know about. So hiding their communications, so others don't know what they're that others around him don't know that he's communicating, but also maybe hiding who he is when he's communicating so people don't know. And also seeing the divine masculine by a bridge, like I've been seeing them up in the mountains a lot, with a bucket or a cup. So let me know if that means anything to anyone specific. The ugly duckling was coming up. The ugly duckling gets cheered on to what's important in life, the beauty within. New foundation. The diamond in the rough has been coming up a lot too. And it was definitely being exposed as the very tip of the sword. So as we're coming out into our truth, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, the very point, the harshest parts of the truth. That the diamond in the rough is literally the point of the sword. Okay? So when you finally get to that last little bit that's the hardest, because, right, it's the most cutting at the tip, that is the diamond in the rough finally being exposed from the earth, because now it just needs some final polishing. Okay? So it's getting literally, and Spirit's connecting with me, new foundation, the diamond in the rough, the truth, the point of the sword, Excalibur, the sharpest edge, like a dirty table that just needs a little organic polishing, as long as what it's made of is of great quality. Okay? So now that you've dug up all these wounds and you've done all this work, it's Spirit saying that you've increased your worth, your quality, right? So it's just getting to these last little bits of polish, but knowing that that's not what's important, right? It's who you are inside. It's the diamond. Okay? So I thought that was an amazing message. So the center issue here was about the sun coming out on the horizon, slowly exposing tradition. The one who doesn't have two balls to stand on, that's what I was getting. So the traditional way of thinking, not thinking out of the box. Institutions of control, religion, government, schools, etc. The truth of marriages and contracts exposed brings new inspiration to those who have been down, abused, and without hope. That all they need is just a little distraction and self-love. There was a challenge of the Divine Feminine's own heart, others entering the Divine Feminine's space, her heart, through speaking her truth, the whole truth. And that was emphasized, not just a little bit of truth, but the whole truth. This is this Excalibur, the diamond in the rough, the tip of the sword. The truth shall set you free. Angelic balance. Work on details of the karmic Queen of Wands energy. We're not talking about the karmic, but the understanding of this energy of the feminine's past, their karmic sexuality and her regrets, being controlled by her sexual situation. So something that came up for me was, I brought up my lawn guys coming around the other day, and so when I'm out lying out on my deck in my bathing suit, I always feel like my territory is being invaded when they come around, because they just come, they don't ever give me notice, they just come onto the property, which normally I don't care if I'm inside. But if you're outside and you're assuming you're in a private place and you're going within, you don't want someone invading your space. So this brought up receiving unwanted masculine attention, okay, or aggression. So I wrote it down like it's like the enemy on your territory invading your space. So that also brought up a couple weeks back, my next door neighbor, and had someone over there. I don't know if it was a relative or a friend or somebody working at the house. I wasn't familiar. I didn't remember their face, and maybe I'd met them before. I just don't remember. My memory's not very good these days. But one day when I was out there sunning, he just leaned over the fence and like said, something about, you want some company, like, and it was just creepy to me. But then I had to question my own reaction, and I just, kind of ignored him. I kind of just gave him that look like, why are you saying this to me? So I questioned, should I be more open? Should I say thank you for the compliment that doesn't feel like a compliment? And then I felt like I may have reacted differently if it was someone I was attracted to, right? Because we all respond differently to different people depending on how we feel about them. So, but then I said, well, yeah, but was what I felt something that was just a little flirty, or did it feel aggressive? And it felt aggressive to me. So we don't just hear the words and see the people, we feel their energy. So you may be defensive because you're feeling their aggression even if they're not saying it that way. So pay attention to your own knowing. But knowing also that within your own wounds you have become guarded. And becoming guarded then is your subconscious energy putting out energy of, don't come near me with your sexual energy, right? Because if you feel like it's aggressive, then you're guarding it. Okay, so just be careful about that, and it might bring up something for you that you're not aware of. Implementing grounding yourself when skating on thin ice. And that was bringing up just like skating. Hold on loosely. Allow, right? So, because if you try to control skating too much, what happens? You fall. Because you have to allow the flow to happen naturally. It's the same thing. So when you find yourself skating on thin ice or in a sticky situation, just like skating, remember that, hold on loosely. But don't let go. Keep going. Allow the flow. Open your heart to those who are holding on too tightly. Don't protect your heart. Be a child. Be open and truthful. If you feel insulted, say so. So I should have said something, I did react. He got my point that I didn't want company. I was trying to be by myself. But don't be afraid to speak your truth. If you're getting aggressive, insulting energy and you're feeling that, then you need to say that you maybe feel insulted. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be mean. Be tactful, but speak your truth. Play the game. Your sexual energy is your power. They can't help themselves but be attracted to you when you're in your power. Because they want some of that too, right? They want to feel that way. But also respect yourself. So this is the gray area, right? Because I've even experienced this in relationship. Like, knowing someone who, when they're out in a bar situation, that the girls are always going up to them, talking to them, and they just assume that they just can't help themselves. I'm just all that. So of course they want to come talk to me, not realizing that they are coming over to talk to him because they want something from him. They want to get to know him and have a relationship, not realizing that their partner is standing right next to them, but just, a couple feet away, so they're not paying attention. So it's about being in your power, and there's nothing wrong with being friendly, but being friendly with others and outright flirting, sexual flirting, are two different things. So yes, you can be confident that other people are attracted to you and that will be drawn to you, but also respect yourself and those you love by honoring them. When you feed into your own insecurities, you dishonor those you love. So when you outwardly flirt with others when you're with a partner, you're showing your insecurities and you're dishonoring your partner. So I felt that very important to clarify. So I'm sure we've all been in those types of situations. It's not just about you shining your light, it's about honoring other people's lights as well. Stand your ground without defense or offense. Okay, that's being neutral, being at 0 point. Stand your ground, so know your boundaries, know what makes you happy and doesn't make you happy, but without being defensive or offensive, so not being aggressive or being, blocked. So when you're defensive, you're closing your heart. Don't close your heart, and closing your heart will make you offensive as well, aggressive. So just stand your ground and be in your knowing. Love yourself first when guided to come together. This is all under the Divine Feminine energy. So love yourself first when you're guided to come together, to be in your patience and your balance. And this is kind of funny, but when thinking about the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine coming in and saying loving yourself first, there may be some people who need to love themselves first before they come together in order to be patient and balanced. Allow the candle to ignite naturally. Don't think about the sexual interaction or what might happen when you come together. All of your thoughts will blow out that candle, that inspiration. Also thinking about your divine partner and a karmic is also going to douse the flame, right? So don't think about that stuff either. Don't be in your head. Stress will come up when you're together, and the important part is your time together. You're happy that you finally have time together. So don't go into your broken heart issues. Allow yourself to receive the love offered without expectation. Allow abundance that naturally comes to you. Try to respond a different way than usual. Focus on something you have always loved about your looks. Your twin probably likes that too. The Divine Masculine, I was getting some of the Divine Masculines working with their karmics, and that's driving them crazy, and also a mother could be driving them crazy too, but also a mother, but I was getting also the mother may be detached, but may be supportive of his dreams, may not necessarily be supportive of all of his choices, but she is somewhat supportive. Soon I was getting maybe bringing up focus on looks and how women feel about themselves, about the things they don't like about themselves. I was getting specifically that's going to catch the attention of someone's mother. Talking specifically about tummies, when people are overweight and they don't like their stomachs, and also boobs were coming up again. So this is catching some Divine Masculine's mother's attention. It could be the karmic's mother as well. But actually it's getting in a positive way, like they're having some respect for that. I was getting overindulgences, including antisocial behavior, so not just partying too much, but also hermiting, right, too much, of the twin comes to light, allowing completion and ascension, coming full circle. The honeymoon card was coming up, so could be honeymoon, but it also can just be a vacation. To express your love, and this could be the one, okay? So a lot of positive energy, but it's about expressing your love to everyone, keeping your heart open. Are you giving without expecting something in return? Okay, that's coming up for the Divine Feminine, that she is. She's learning to give without expecting anything. Knowing, and this was odd, I was just getting a knowing death is upon you in this action. It's like the death of the old, the rebirth, and returning to the past to let it go, to find inner harmony, inner union. And then I was getting 3 out of 4 is bad. If you have 4 flames, 2 and 2, and 1 is out of balance, it's all out of balance, is what I was getting. Seeing the karmic with them can also be a bone of contention, but the Divine Masculine is dreaming about their Divine Feminine, and also having right knee issues, like we discussed already. That's been coming up a lot. And that's funny, because right around this time, my twin friend called, who has a lot of masculine energy. I didn't ask her about her right knee, though, so I'll have to ask. So, forbidden fruit came up again, of passion and romance. And then I got mistletoe. And then I was guided to look at mistletoe as miss the toe. And it's funny, because I just brought up my big toe the other day, that I felt pain in my big toe at midnight, my left big toe. So, miss the toe. If it means anything to anyone, let me know. Also, the olive branch was coming up, and the blueberry branch. And very thick, twisted ropes that bind together for strength. And then Twisted Sister also came up. So, there might be a Twisted Sister somewhere. Or it just could be a Twisted Sister, you know. So, I was being shown that it's okay to be twisted, the ropes to be twisted together. You know, it might not always be pleasant to be twisted, but you know, twisting gets all those emotions out, and it creates a very strong bond together. Okay, when you clear together, you bond, and that's strengthening. New growth when you can own the past with exposing truth about loving yourself. So around the Divine Feminine, there's definitely that Knight of Wands energy again, all fired up about an older woman. It could be a mother, boss. It's an Empress reversed energy. But this person's, it could be the karmic partner as well. This person is moving. So it's mother or partner I was getting for the Divine Feminine, who's in his Knight of Wands. So he's getting charged up because this person's leaving. So it makes room for the, literally I was getting, for the High Priestess in the aftermath, or secret cleanup. The ashes falling on the High Priestess shoulders. So the Divine Feminine may get some of the, you know, the residual fallout. So just be aware of that. For the Divine Feminine, clear your blocks to the Emperor energy, literally. You know, clear their crown, so there might be still some blocks. Again, you can pull in light in your breath, bring it around your heart, and put it through the cord, in through your Divine Feminine, up through his crown, to clear out, you know, violet transmutation of any blocks around his crown. You can use violet and gold. I use sometimes in white for purification, and green for healing. So whatever you feel called to use. But I was guided to, you know, that literally the Emperor's crown is blocked again, so to clear it. There's some confused emotions, defensiveness, and ungroundedness with the Divine Masculine, because there may still be some intimidation there on both parts. You know, the Divine Masculine could feel intimidated by Divine Feminine as well. So parenting was coming up as a big thing right now for both the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. They got the same cards in the sense they got abundance and adventure, both Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. Parenting, abundance, and adventure. And then I got the green-eyed monster comes out. So jealousy is going to be a big issue. Let's see. So there's some rejection. I was getting reception just now as well. Someone might be having a reception. That the twins are getting back into alignment. And then finally, as the solution, I was getting that huge ball that I was talking about in that card. And actually, I'm going to show you the cards. This is the card from the Syrian Starseed deck. Okay, this is the Starseed card. This is the Fool. Okay, but you see that energy coming into the, and this could be the, you know, the crown. See the flower or the lotus, okay? So that kind of energy, the ball drops like a ton of bricks is what I was getting, directly into the heart of the Divine Feminine. And then I was getting the Hermit as the Divine Masculine. Could be Virgo energy as well, or a professional or an old wise man. Sheds light with his right hand, with his masculinity, his strength, to the world about his other half, that they're completely disconnected. So there's some separations or divorces going on. I was getting bombshell, literally, of separation. The Divine Masculine being very happy or satisfied in a justice situation or a divorce situation. So it could be a court issue as well. I was getting that the ex is over it now, because now, so that the kids can be happy. This was also highlighted, that the kids are happy, so the ex is getting over it in order to make the kids happy. And I was literally getting highlighted, the kids' happiness is highlighted as well as by their old man with a broken heart. Also could be that the twins are very happy getting over separation. Then I was getting, as a summary, independent white female, diamond in the rough, in union with Knight of Wands, sexy man, her shadow, excited to allow him into her heart, and everything else, to ascend with emperor wounds demolished in the download for twins. So that was pretty cool. I'm going to pull you some oracle cards now as well. And I thought I'd pull a card. I never use my French deck because I don't know all the translations yet. But let's see if we can pull one today and get a French card for you. Because I've never seen this deck. It's really beautiful. I picked this up when I was on my retreat in the south of France, on the Mary Magdalene retreat. And again, for those of you who don't know, it was with Mercedes Kirkle, who channels Mary Magdalene. And she does that retreat every year. I don't know if she's doing it again next year or not, but I know she did this year. Excuse me. Okay, so let's get this here. Clear. I'm going to do that. Oh wow. Okay. So for the organic divine masculine and divine feminines, what is the advice? Okay, what is the advice? The energy is much better today. Much better. Okay. I got two cards. Oh, I'm going to be really challenged. All right, let's see. I've already written down the translation for some of them, but I'm not going to have all the meanings. Let's see, that was... No, I don't have that interpretation for the bottom, so... Your success, I can get some of it. Your success is dependent, and this is the underlying energy in this deck, on the state of your spirit, your positive attitude, basically. Positive thoughts. And the signature in this deck looks like BB. So if that means anything to anyone, it looks like 133. It's BB. But it also looks like 133. Or just like 33, kind of the 3 wrapped around something. So that's a nice little signature because it looks like some Christ energy. So 33 is the Christ vibration. The two cards that came out, and we'll see how much I can interpret these. I think I have this one. So this is the, I guess, I know what the direct translation is, the bridge to the future. I can try to read it in French for those of you who know French. Okay, so they're really beautiful cards, so I really wanted to show them to you. So it's le pont du futur, envisager, so envision, le milieu, imprégnez-vous, de cette idea, avec ardeur, elle aura tendance à devenir en réalité. So it's about, you know, envisioning your dreams, really. The idea of ardor. The bridge to your future is paved with gold, right? So I'll see what I have, if I have anything written down. But sorry about my French isn't great, but I did take French in school. But I think I did better in Italy than I did with my French. But the other card that we got is l'apprentissage. Tirez les leçons de ce que vous vivez en ce moment, mais vous vous en tirez, vivify. I don't know how to say vivifier, et plus confiant. So let me see if I have my translations here. Where did I just put the book? Oh, there it is. Yes, I did. So for this one, it's just about learning, you know, apprentice. Learn from what you are experiencing, even at this moment. You'll feel alive and confident. So it's saying, staying present. You learn by staying present in this moment. And this card is like the House of Cards. Okay. So staying this moment and the bridge to your future. Let me see. I don't know if I wrote the direct translation of that. I did. It is the bridge to the future. Consider the best. Impregnate this idea with ardor. It will tend to become real. Okay? So it's kind of like fake it till you make it, but in a good way. Just about happiness and about your confidence. Don't be fake. Be fake it till you make it in your own authenticity. Okay, so now for the regular decks that I use. We have the Ascension deck. And this French deck, in case any of you are interested, it's Les Portes de l'Intuition. Okay, that's the picture of the book. I think the cover is the same. Yeah, the cover's the same. That's the cover. Okay, so for the Ascension deck, clear. For the organic, divine, masculine, divine, feminine, twin flames. What is the advice? What is the advice? Okay. Tough. And unicorns is on the bottom. Number 22, that's the Fool. And unicorn says, just the affirmation is, I connect with the unicorns. They're 7th dimensional ascended horses that help you with serving humanity or the planet, to give you dignity, confidence, and strength to do what's right. And then other people will sense this and respond to it. So connect with your unicorns. They grant wishes to the pure of heart. So ask them to bring something significant to you now. The card that came out is Thoth, which is number 31. 31 is the Five of Wands, so it's that conflict energy, but it's also competition, that fight for greatness. It's a 4, so it's of stability and building and have the things of this earthly plane. Support. Thoth, the high priest in the golden era of Atlantis, led his tribe to South America to become the Inca civilization. He taught that when every single aspect is in tune, the whole is automatically in harmony. So, just like the body. Okay? So your guidance is to bring all parts of your life and your body into alignment so that you enjoy perfect health and happiness. Imagine every cell of your body is part of an orchestra. Let your thoughts conduct a magnificent concert for radiant well-being. Attune each area of your life to a higher purpose so that your life is a celebration. And the affirmation is, my life and my health are in perfect harmony. Okay? So you bring everything into alignment by caring for all parts of yourself, your body, your mind, your spirit. To make sure you give attention to all of these things. Okay. My life and my health are in perfect harmony. Thought. Okay. So we're getting down to the more practicalities, right, of keeping yourself healthy. Drinking your water. That's very Philadelphia of me, isn't it? Drinking your water. Getting your rest, exercising, meditating, being out in nature, salt baths, whatever relaxes you, getting a massage. What is the advice for the organic divine masculines and divine feminine twin flames, please? What is the advice? Oh, this is interesting because it came up yesterday. The bottom of the deck is love life. Okay. So roses and hearts and roses, love life. And then the cards that came out were first persecution and inquisition. Okay. And then Native American also came up. And that's interesting because this shape came up for me in the cards today for sure. And that's about the connection between your divine masculine and feminine, and the connection to the earth. All right, so that's bringing into the Native American alignment to that. It's like the mirror portal, and it's also a funnel of information, a funnel of health, a funnel of life. Funnel of good hair, I was just kidding. Okay. And persecution and inquisition. Well, we know why that's coming up, because how are you going to react when you're attacked, when you're accused? And it's it's like bridging these two energies, using nature to ground yourself so much that it's just instinctual to not react or get defensive or get offensive in any situation. But you see in this card, even though she's in persecution, inquisition, her heart is not protected. It's to keep your heart open no matter what. Okay? And the TP here is, it looks kind of like a spaceship to me, this TP. It's like the tail of a spaceship. A broken bird. Yeah, where their feathers have died. Not to bring sadness up, that this is a part of nature. Death and rebirth. Okay? So to appreciate what's here when it's here. To appreciate your everyday and your present moment. And if you still need to go back and clear wounds, do that too. And then from the Journey of Love, see what we have from the Journey of Love. Here. Okay. So don't mind me, I have some lower back issues, so it's always hard for me to get comfortable. Okay, so for the organic divine masculine and divine feminine twin flames, what is the advice from the Journey of Love? the organic divine masculine and organic divine feminine twin flames. What is the advice? Okay. We got cosmic butterfly. Which is number 36. And the bottom we got 22 again, which is the Fool energy. So it's about breaking free and loving all that is, keeping your heart open. Okay, number 22 again is a 4, so there were 2 4s, and then we have 4 again, and then we have 36, which is a 9. Interesting. This underlying energy card, I just noticed in the picture, the way she's positioned, there's 2 things that it brought up for me. The way she has her arms wrapped around at night, that's one of the techniques that Patricia McNeely had taught to bring your divine masculine in at night, you know, to wrap your arms around like they're there, connect your arms. And that's actually when I was practicing seeing my aura. I used to do that at night with the light in my room. It was really helpful in connecting and learning your abilities better. The other position was how she's sitting with her knees out. If she then bends forward and reaches her arms up over her head, that's a really good stretch for the back and the spine. Okay, to have your feet out like that, and then stretch forward with, you know, straight back and arms with your arms up over your head. For people who can't crouch into those positions, I believe that stretch you also can do standing up and just using a chair to just lean over and put all the weight onto your hands and elbows. So it just basically takes all the weight off of your spine. So I'm going to read Cosmic Butterfly number 36. Okay. Number 36. You're being reborn from the pulsating womb of the Divine Mother, on fire with her creative power. You're being transformed whilst living. To surrender certainty in favor of openness, to accept the smallness of your everyday life whilst admitting to the magnificence of your being, to open up to the divine light that pours through you into a myriad of forms, endlessly creating, destroying, creating again. This is your sacred task. Life is thriving within you. This may not feel stable as yet, but will certainly feel exciting as you enter into yet another cycle of rebirth. Let this life seem as though you are living many lifetimes in one. It is possible for you to encounter the totality of human experience in this lifetime. It is possible for you to encounter the totality of human experience in this lifetime, should you be open to it. This is treading the enlightened path, embracing all of life. You have chosen this for yourself and been blessed with it as a possibility this lifetime. Why not let yourself be broken down in Spirit's Connecting with me and reborn through the workings of nature? Another life within this one beckons you on now. The message for you from this oracle is that if your life feels like it's falling apart, then take heart, for it is falling apart to come back together in a new way. You are going through rebirth, just like a butterfly in the chrysalis. The agony and the delight, the sense of dying and being truly alive, can all be held in the same serene space of your heart. Surrender, and Spirit's really connecting. Surrender into what you're becoming now, and know that what you are leaving behind is but a shell that once will have held your fast emerging new self. And the poem reads, the breeze of the butterfly's wings caresses the stillness of my thoughts and awakens feelings that course through my veins. Like the whale's song to the ocean's depths, there wells in me a knowing and a wonder for what is yet to be. Okay? So really beautiful. So surrender to it all. Okay? Even in the depths of despair, there's beauty. And know that it's just your rebirth. Okay? So I hope that resonated with you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please add below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you need anything from me, my website and my email address are below. Okay? Have a great day and a great week. Rise and be loved, guys.